First time I heard the podcast, I was elbow deep in lukewarm dishwater at the Burger Barn. My name's Dustin, Dusty Miller. And yeah, that Dustin Miller. The one from Kid Commanders. Don't bother, it was 20 years ago. My glory days ended somewhere between my 12th birthday and the first zit. Now, I scrub grease off industrial trace. Living the dream, right? My coworker, Brenda, a sweet woman whose life seemed to revolve around her prize-winning petunias in true crime, had her phone propped up next to the industrial sink, blasting Hollywood Homicide Unsolved.
Oh my God, Dusty, you have to hear this. They're talking about that show, Kid Commanders. Remember it? It was huge. The kid who played Captain Comet. What was his name? Leo Maxwell? He died right after it got canceled. They're saying it wasn't an accident.
My stomach dropped, faster than my acting career. Captain Comet, Leo, the rival. My on-screen nemesis, my off-screen tormentor. The golden boy who always got the best lines, the bigger trailer, the cover of Tiger Beat. And then just like that, gone. Accidental fall, the news said. 15 years old. Just a kid. I hadn't thought about Leo in years. Not really. I'd buried that part of my life under layers of fast food uniforms and the comforting hum of anonymity. But Brenda's podcast pulled it all back up, a muddy, half-digested memory from the depths.
The hosts, a couple of slick-voiced ex-journalists, laid it all out. Leo was found at the bottom of a cliff overlook in Malibu, hours after a wrap party for the show.
The police ruled it an accident, a drunk kid, bad footing. But the podcast started picking at the threads. No witnesses, a strange text message sent from Leo's phone after the estimated time of death, and a long, rambling letter to his parents, hinting at someone trying to sabotage his career.
Suddenly, my mundane life in this small, forgotten town in Ohio, where the biggest scandal was the mayor's affair with the librarian, felt like it was shrinking. Every look from Brenda, every casual question about my acting days, felt loaded. One Tuesday, I was stuck in Fry's, humming along to some terrible pop song, when the podcast dropped its new episode.
Brenda practically sprinted over, phone in hand. Dusty, they just mentioned you.
My blood ran cold.
The hosts were talking about the friction on set, the intense rivalry between Leo and the Kid Commander himself.
They dug up old interviews, one where a snot-nosed 10-year-old had whined about Leo stealing my thunder. They even found a clip of an argument, muffled but audible, from a behind-the-scenes documentary.
I wish you'd just disappear, Leo!
It was a kid's outburst, a frustrated, jealous kid. But played back through the chilling lens of a true crime podcast, it sounded like a confession.
Brenda looked at me, her eyes wide with a mix of horror and morbid fascination. Dusty, they're not saying you did it, are they?
I just stared at the glistening French fries. The truth was, Leo and I hated each other. He was charismatic, but manipulative. I was insecure, but he knew how to push my buttons. We had a knockdown, drag-out fight in the green room the day before the wrap party. He said some awful things that still stung 2 decades later. I stormed out wishing he'd fall off the face of the earth. But kill him? No, never. The next day, my manager, a guy who usually only cared about my attendance record, pulled me aside.
Dusty, got a call for you. Some hotshot producer from LA wants to chat about the podcast. He looked at me, his gaze holding an uncomfortable mix of suspicion and the kind of awe usually reserved for a UFO sighting.
That's when I knew. The ghost of Captain Comet wasn't just haunting the airwaves anymore. It was coming for me. My anonymous, boring, safe life was over. I had to go back to Hollywood, back to the green rooms and the lies, and finally figure out what really happened to Leo Maxwell. Not just for him, but for me. Because if I didn't, that podcast was going to write my ending, and it wasn't going to be a happy one.